The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Today's Gospel story is about the woman at the feet of Jesus whose tears bathes the feet of Jesus, and she wipes the feet of Jesus' hair with her own hair. A real dramatic story. When we look at this story, it's a very dramatic story. You can't ignore it, if you will. It's kind of right there in your face. However, we often get caught up in the idea of that this is a judgment call by the Pharisees and even indeed by Jesus. But that's not the point of this story. There's something deeper here than simply the graciousness and the wonder of God's forgiveness, which is very important, don't get me wrong. But the point here in today's gospel is about identity. The important thing in this story is not how the Pharisee sees this woman as a sinner, but we often forget, how does Jesus see her? And that's the point of today's gospel. And it's revealed here. Jesus does not first and foremost see her as a sinner. But what does he see? Someone who loves greatly. Someone who pours their life out to a stranger, to Jesus, and to his disciples. He sees first and foremost, God always sees us from that perspective of love, with the eyes of love, as only a parent could and should and must. And this is Jesus. He first and foremost sees the love being poured out at his feet and celebrates that with this woman, celebrates her faith. Indeed, it is that pouring out of love that brings forth that generosity of God's forgiveness and mercy. And you can't help but notice that there was healing going on here. She is restored to the community. And when it concerns her identity, she also comes to know herself in the love of God. And so she too, in turn, is able to accept and believe and identify herself as a disciple and follower of Jesus. But that self-identity didn't come about until she realized how God sees us, how God celebrates us, how God brings us along and invites us to follow Jesus.